Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video we are going to talk about the upcoming batch with V3 Zoro and V2 Kaido, two new super type legends. We are going to see what they exactly do and how good they really are, and then of course we are going to break down their Sugo-Fest and of course see if they are worth your gems or not. So without further ado, let's start talking about the characters. First up we have Zoro. He is one of the two legends and he is Dex, Slasher and Driven. His three limit break abilities consist of special cooldown reduction at the start of the quest, increased damage taken duration reduction and slot bind reduction. Zoro is of course a super type Dex unit and his captain ability goes as follows. Boosts attack of Dex characters by 5 times and cuts the current HP of all enemies by 20% at the start of every stage if the total damage taken is 20,000 or more, by 4.5 times attack boost otherwise, their HP by 1.5 times, and boosts attack of all other characters by 4 times while also reducing silence duration by 10 turns. Definitely a very strong captain ability for V3 Zoro. Then we have his special ability that goes as follows. Reduces special cooldown of all characters by 2 turns, makes own attacks ignore damage reducing barriers and buffs, deals 100 times character's attack in typeless fixed damage to all enemies that will ignore damage negating abilities and barriers, and finally he amplifies the effect of orbs for Dex characters based on the total damage taken by 2.75 at max, by 2.5 times at minimum. He has a very good special ability, but unfortunately he only boosts the orb effects for Dex characters. In my opinion, if he could also boost Slasher and Driven characters for an orb boost, then he would be so much better. As a support, Zoro can be attached to Dex characters and at level 5 his support reads. Once per an adventure, when the supported character uses a damage dealing or health cutting special, he amplifies the effect of orbs for Dex characters by 1.75 for 1 turn. A very good boost and of course a very strong support. As I mentioned already, Zoro is a super type unit, so he has a super type activation requirement. He must be captain and the other members of the crew must consist of Hiyori or Komurasaki, Toko, Monkey D. Luffy, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie or Brook. And of course, support members do not count. If the requirement is fulfilled, his super type special goes as follows. He deals 75 times character's attack in typeless damage to all enemies, boosts the color affinity of Dex characters by 2 times for 1 turn, and makes everyone a super type Dex unit. His super type is extremely strong, boosting the color affinity by 2 times, but once again it only applies to Dex units. I think that is actually the biggest disadvantage of V3 Zoro, focusing way too much on Dex units. His captain ability is very good, but his special and super type special focus only on Dex characters. If he could also help some classes like Slasher and Driven, he would be way better. He is still a very good unit, an amazing super type Dex unit, one of the best in the game, but he is still lacking a little bit. Moving on to V2 Kaido. He is also a legend, of course the second of the whole batch, and he is Q, Powerhouse and Driven. He has 3 limit break abilities, 2 of which are the exact same with V3 Zoro, because he also reduces increased damage taken duration and slot bind duration, but instead of special cooldown reduction at the start of the quest, he gets critical hit. Kaido is a Q super type unit and his captain ability goes as follows. He boosts attack of Q characters by 5 times if you use his special in this turn, otherwise he boosts attack by 4.5 times, their HP by 1.5 and boosts attack of all other characters by 4 times. Every turn the damage taken exceeds 10,000, he activates his special and resets stacks. But first, let's see his special ability to understand what that means better. He inflicts all enemies with increased damage taken by 2 times for 1 turn and deals 1,000,000 fixed damage to one enemy while also changing all orbs into matching. So this Kaido is centered around receiving a lot of damage, but also dishing it out. He can also be attached as a support to King, Queen and Jack, and at level 5 he adds 18% of his base attack to the supported character's base attack. Pretty standard, but still pretty decent. Of course, he is also a super type unit just like Zoro, and his super type requirement is that he needs to be captain and have less than 50% HP. Now for his super type special, he deals 2 million typeless damage to one enemy, reduces percent damage reduction and threshold damage reduction duration by 2 turns, and transforms all Q characters to super type. So we have the whole unit being centered around damage, but his super type special can also help you with utility, which is very good. Overall, V2 Kaido is pretty similar to V1 Kaido. That is because he is a very strong unit, but if the enemy has normal attacks only debuff, then his power level goes down. And V2 Kaido's power level also goes down if the enemy has full immunity. But he is still a very unique unit, something I do love about him, and at the same time can be very strong against specific types of content. The batch also has 2 rare recruits. One of them is Kyukamazo, who is slasher and driven, and his special cuts the current HP of one enemy by 20%, something that ignores damage negating abilities and barriers, while also reducing burn for 4 turns and reducing enemy increased defense duration by 4 turns, and also locking the chain multiplier at 3 times. So he is pretty decent, but nothing amazing. The other rare recruit of the batch is Dex, Slasher and Striker Gyokimaru. His special changes all orbs on all characters into Gyokimaru's orb, reduces despair, paralysis and attack down duration by 3 turns, and reduces enemies' threshold damage reduction by 5 turns. It's actually great that he removes 5 turns of threshold damage reduction and can give matching slots to the other units, but unfortunately he removes the rest of the debuffs just for 3 turns. Still a good amount, but sometimes it can prove to be lackluster. Let's now talk about the Sugo-Fest that will actually feature these characters. The banner will arrive after the upcoming maintenance is complete, and it will be a 2 times Sugo-Fest. It will include 3 parts. Part 1 will arrive after maintenance and will include both Kaido and Zoro, but there is a catch. This part will actually have a bigger pool of legends, specifically 30, than the other 2 parts that will only include either Zoro or Kaido, but have 15 legends available. Part 1 and parts 2 and 3 will actually have a bit of a different structure just because part 1 has 30 legends, the other parts have 15. So for part 1, the first pool is 30 rainbow gems, which is great. The second pool has the last wanted poster being either a Sugo-Fest exclusive or a rate boosted unit. Multis 3, 9, 13 and 18 have the last wanted poster guaranteed to be a Sugo-Fest exclusive. Multis 4, 8, 12 and 16 are only 1 rainbow gem. Multis 5, 7, 11, 14, 17 and 19 have the last wanted poster being a limited pool Land of Wano character, which isn't really an amazing step since old units will be included and of course not only legends but also rare recruits. Multis 6 and 15 will have the last wanted poster being a limited pool Sugo-Fest exclusive, so most likely the 30 legend pool will be reduced to 15, and then Multis 10 and 20 will have a super limited pool Sugo-Fest exclusive in the final poster. So the 15 legends will most likely be reduced to either 7 or 8. For parts 2 and 3, where V2 Kaido and V3 Zoro are exclusive in each part, the steps will pretty much be the same, but the main difference will be that we won't have a super limited pool, we will only see a limited pool in Multis 10 and 21, and we will also see each character guaranteed for his own part in multi number 30. So for part 2, V2 Kaido, and for part 3, V3 Zoro. Now it's time to see the advantages and disadvantages of the Sugo-Fest to help you of course decide if you want to pull or not. The characters have amazing special animations and nice designs, but is the Sugo-Fest worth it? First up, for the advantages, these two are very good super type Dex and Q units. We all know that the Dex and Q typings are the worst two in One Piece Treasure Cruise, so having some new super type legends is very helpful for both types. Another advantage is that we see a discounted and also 1 gem multis. These are always great to see, so definitely a good thing. Then I would say as an advantage we do have 2 times legend rate. I did try really hard to find advantages because this Sugo-Fest is not very good, I will be straight up with you, but 2 times legend rate can be considered decent if you miss a lot of legends from the specific pools. It's not the best legend rate though, by no means, and 2 times legend rate can also be a trap in many situations. Now it's time for the disadvantages, and first up I have to say that we have bad non-discounted steps. 1 gem multis might be great, but seeing a pool of a Wano character is not amazing and a pretty old step, to be honest. Then we get some legends guaranteed, which is pretty standard for every Sugo-Fest, but what I don't really like is that we have a big pool of available legends, and then we get a limited pool that's not really that limited, and then we even get a super limited pool. Hopefully this pool for whoever wants to reach multi number 10 has amazing characters in it, but we can't be sure until the Sugo-Fest is in game. Another disadvantage is that we have the new debut legends available at 30 multis. That is way too expensive for a debut legend that also can be lackluster in specific pieces of content. Yes, V3 Zoro is great, but if he doesn't go against Q content, there are definitely better options out there. And the same even goes for V2 Kaido, not necessarily because of his typing, but more so because of normal attacks only and full immunity. Good characters, but definitely not worth 30 multis. The final disadvantage, while I cannot be 100% sure about it, it is very likely to happen, and that is old legends being available. And I'm talking very old legends, like V1 Boa, V1 Zoro, or even other legends that are not useful and many players hate to see in Sugo-Fests, like of course V2 Jinbe. And that's all I had to say about the upcoming banners with V2 Kaido and V3 Zoro. Hopefully the video helped you enough to make a decision on if you should pull or save your gems. For more videos like this in the future, make sure you leave a like and of course subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.